Hey guys, and welcome back to Me and Mommy, a space where we help you thrive as an individual while also being a mom. First things first, little Miss Nolly Bear is playing right behind me with a toy that is almost as loud as I am. Today I want to go ahead and share with you guys something that is actually very, I don't want to say personal, but it is actually personal because it's based from a personal experience. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 things that I have learned from my 10-year relationship. It is no secret, especially if you follow me on my other channel, that myself and Dizzy have been together for 10 years. And this is us just being together. It's not necessarily like a wedding because we've only been married for a little over a year, almost 2 years actually, which is insane. We've been together effectively for 10 years, and to me that is the most part. That is so much more precious. For me, that is the big deal. I mean, yes, I will be counting the years that we've been married. However, what makes the big difference for me is the fact that we have committed to each other for 10 years. The birthdays, the traveling, the memories, the cake, the fun, the fights, the drama. It's been real. It's been a real ride. I share these things because I feel like they have made me who I am in my relationship. They have built our relationship. It is nowhere close to what it was when it started. It is even better right now, which is fantastic. And I thought I should go ahead and share that with you guys because there were moments during that time when I look back that I was so impatient, that I felt like it was never gonna work out, that I felt like it is just so much work. But it was all necessary. It was all part of the process. It was all part of the journey. And so if I could share that to help somebody, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? So let's dive right into it. Lesson number one, your relationship doesn't have to make sense to any other person, just the two of you guys. The reality of the matter is there are lots of people that break up in their relationships, that let go of their relationships because of outside pressures, what they think other people think of their relationship, how they want their relationship to be portrayed, how they want people to view them. And because they're not able to achieve that, they end up letting go of good-esque relationships. It is your relationship and it has to make sense to only you and you alone. If you guys want to eat waffles for dinner and a steak for breakfast, you do that because it makes sense for you. You do you. You focus on your relationship. It'll do your relationship good. Lesson number two, reaching a compromise or compromising doesn't mean that you have to settle. There's a very fine line between settling for something and making a compromise in a relationship. A compromise is when you get to a point where you both making each other's situation work out for the both of you. For example, if I say, oh honey, I actually want to go visit my parents over the weekend to see how they're doing, and he says to me, actually I was gonna ask us to go to my brother's house so that we can, you know, hang out with them and stuff. The compromise would be, okay, how about I go with you to your brother, I sit there for like 2 hours maximum, and then I drive off to my parents, and then you get your brother to drive you home. Or I go to my parents' house the day after the brother's hangout situation, or I go to my parents' house first and we do the brothers hangout situation the next day. That is a compromise. You're making both situations work out without having to, you know, let the other one choose or let go of what it is that they want to do. Settling basically is taking what you were being given and you're not even fighting it, you're not even trying to reach a compromise, you're not even trying to negotiate, and that ends up being the biggest pain point in the relationship because you look back someday and you think, wow, I've actually never really done anything that I wanted to do. I've just been chasing you and what you want to do the whole entire time. It just makes you a miserable person in a relationship, and you don't really want that. You want to be able to get to a point where you're able to voice your opinions, for one, without being scared or frustrated, and you're able to reach a compromise without feeling like you always have to give. It's a give and take in a relationship. Lesson number three, following trends sets you up for failure. I cannot even begin to stress this enough. How many times have you looked around on social media where you saw some couple and you thought to yourself, wow, they go on holidays so many times, I also want to go on holiday too? Or you see some people getting engaged, getting married, and you start thinking, wow, when am I ever gonna get married? And you start nagging your boyfriend or your girlfriend, like, when are we getting married? When are we gonna do this? Why are we not doing this? How come we never go on holiday? How come we never have money to eat out? How come we never eat McDonald's? How come we never ever just sit at home and watch a movie? Things like those will set you up for failure. Your relationship has to make sense only to you. You don't have to follow nobody's trend just because everybody's all of a sudden getting engaged, all of a sudden getting married, all of a sudden having babies, all of a sudden just doing all sorts of crazies, and you're just looking like the old regular Joes. Doesn't mean that you are boring. Doesn't mean that you are not having fun in your relationship. It just means that you are focusing on your relationship and you're making it make sense to you guys, and you're just having fun your way. My mom has instilled this thing in me where say, while I was growing up, I would see my friends doing stuff, and every time I see my friends do something and I'll ask my mom if I can do it, she'd always ask me, so if your friend went and jumped off a cliff, are you gonna go jump off a cliff? And at the time, it used to annoy the living daylight out of me, and I never used to get it. But now as an adult, it makes so much more sense to me, to a point where I've almost grown immune to almost every single thing that I see on social media, to a point where it doesn't influence me to try and bring that into my life, unless it's a fabulous product that I want to try. When it comes to my life, I do my life my way. Those people that you're seeing on social media, half the time they're not telling the truth, for one. And second, they might also be chasing somebody else's high. Can you imagine how much fun it would be if you just did your own thing? Lesson number 4, outside pressures will always be there. It is up to you to block it all out, let it go over your head, and choose your moves wisely. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't take advice from people. Family will ask you all the time, when are you getting married? When are you bringing that guy home? It's always gonna be one thing after another. You're gonna bring a guy home and they're gonna ask you, when are you getting married? And then you're gonna get married and they're gonna ask you, so when are you having a baby? And then you're gonna have a baby and they're gonna ask you, so when are you gonna have another baby? But you'll never see any single person coming to you and say, how are you guys holding up? Do you need help with anything? Can I offer you anything? Can I watch your house for a little bit while you guys do whatever it is you want to do? You'll never get that. Lesson number 5, you don't have to be liked by every single person in the family. It is crazy how much pressure we put on ourselves, both as females and males, both as girlfriends and boyfriends, both as wives and husbands. We put so much stress and pressure on ourselves trying to impress family members that honestly don't even give 2 cents about your well-being, about who you are, how you got where you are, or where it is that you're going. It is ridiculous. It's funny because it only clicked about 2 years ago when I thought to myself, why am I letting this steal my joy? Why am I letting all of this take away from what I have? I have something beautiful here, and me stressing out about people not liking me, trying to appear a certain way to people who honestly wouldn't even blink twice if I broke my ankle. And in that moment, I just let it go. I really let it go. Trying to be liked by every single person in the family is a ridiculous thing to expect. It is just the way it is. You're never gonna be liked by everybody else, and as soon as you realize that, honestly, it is the most liberating feeling ever. You stop walking on eggshells, you stop living your life a certain way, you stop wanting to present yourself a certain way so that a certain somebody can give you approval. Lesson number 6, your partner's support is everything. Family drama is a real thing. Even if you might not agree with it in the moment, support them. And when you get home, then raise your concerns to say, listen, I know I backed you up today. However, this is how I feel about this whole situation. All I'm saying is you never, ever show loopholes in your relationship in front of people, regardless of what happens. Lesson number 7, children don't save relationships. Yes, this sounds crazy. And no, me and Dizzy, our 3 beautiful children, were not made or planned because we're trying to save our relationship. All I'm saying is the minute we started having children, our relationship became even more complicated. And I cannot imagine in my head how anybody would want to have a child to save their relationship, because if anything, it's just gonna pull you guys apart. Children are a lot of hard work. They take a lot from you. They make you feel things you've never felt before. They make you do things you would never have thought you would do. This is you and your partner, and you have a baby, and now it's your partner, a baby in the middle, and you have to constantly reach over that kid to get to each other. Trust me when I say children don't save relationships. You constantly have to talk to each other, communicate. Lesson number 8, having fun doesn't have to be expensive. We live in a time where people assume and think that for you to be able to have fun with your partner, you have to go on a holiday, you have to go on a cruise, go and do all these crazy things to have fun, when in fact, honestly, it does not have to be expensive. You can set up a little movie night at home where, you know, every single Friday or every single Thursday, you guys are watching a movie together. You guys can go for a hike, basically walk up the trail. You guys can go for a walk if you prefer walking. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's just so many things that you guys can do together without having to splash thousands and thousands of rands on holidays, flight tickets, hotel stays. Lesson number 9, staying happy in a relationship is your choice. And I'm saying your choice because this one is an individual thing in a relationship. You cannot depend on your partner to make you happy, just like he cannot depend on you to make him happy. You have to find your own happiness is such a delicate, personal thing that you honestly constantly have to keep going going back to, look deep within yourself. Find out what makes you tick. If it means spending a day by yourself at the spa every month, do that. If it means being at home every night for an hour by yourself in the bathtub sipping on wine, do that. Society has set up this crazy expectations where once you get married or you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, then suddenly you're supposed to be this happy person. You're supposed to be happy before you even meet somebody, before you even get in a relationship, before you get married. You need to be happy by yourself before you're happy with somebody else. And the last but not least lesson I've learned is that evolution is inevitable. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. It is just gonna happen. You're gonna look back someday and think, oh my gosh, remember how we used to take spur of the moment trips to different places? Remember how we used to stay up at midnight to eat waffles? That is evolution. You probably don't even do that anymore. Fact of the matter is, it doesn't make you boring. It doesn't mean your relationship is not fun anymore. It just means that you guys have grown. And the fun part is that you guys grew together. You're just reminiscing about the good old days when you guys used to eat Demonese pizza instead of a salad. It is evolution. It is inevitable. Those are my 10 lessons. I hope you guys found this helpful. Go ahead and share it with somebody else. Homegirl's not having it anymore. For today, that's gonna be it. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs it up, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Bye.